Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Our Governor, State Bank, Deputy Governor Seema Kamil. And I'd like to mention the others in the State Bank who are part of this long journey and sometimes very frustrating journey. Samar Hasnan, Mr. Noor Mohammed, Nadeem. I would especially like to mention here Sohail Jawad. I think the governor has been telling me for some time, and I agree with him now, that he provided the, let us say, the open field running space, which has turned a lot of things around for Pakistan through the State Bank of Pakistan. And I think I need to congratulate both all the staff of State Bank on this issue. I would also like to mention here somebody who's not here because he encouraged me a lot, Mr. Abdul Hafiz Sheikh, when he was finance minister. He did all the time try to encourage the PTA and also the State Bank to bring this scheme together as soon as possible. I would like to mention that this is a unique thing which has been brought about by Pakistani talent. It is unique in the world. Not many, I don't think, except from one country, not many have this scheme of many to many, telcos to many banks. India has this scheme, but it doesn't have a real payment scheme with it. We have a full-fledged payment scheme. So this is a first, and congratulations to both SBP and PTA for having this. But all this has been possible. And let us not forget Nadra. If you had not had this base, if you had not had this identity base, if you had not had something that would come back and you could refer back immediately, all this would not have been possible. So what does this lead to? This leads to a fact that Pakistan is at its best when there is teamwork. Teamwork within institutions and teamwork with individuals. Congratulations, Chairman Nadra, for having provided that base to us. My son is not here, who has been very much part and parcel, my daughter-in-law who have been encouraging me, seeing their future wealth being frittered away by their elder on what everybody went and told them was a fruitless scheme in which there was no money to be made, and it was all going to be in a deep hole. And I think they stood by it, the family stood by it, and they said, okay, let us keep persevering. And all the frustrations, all the tribulations came through here, because I must tell you the encouragement I got from the State Bank, particularly each and every individual of the State Bank, and I will particularly like to mention Seema Kamil. Here at times, totally I said, I'm giving up, and she said, no, it's just around the corner. Thank you, Seema. When you have people supporting you, you have a lot of people who try to pull you back. In Pakistan, that is a speciality, to try and they don't try to go on their own merit. They go on try to put other people's legs so that they can go out on their merit. I would like to mention here that I'm very grateful to both the other telcos, particularly somebody from Jazz, not here, Amir Ibrahim, because only Jazz was the first one that came and stood by us, and rest came one by one. But it took them some time, but it was only because of Jazz. Because of Jazz, I would like to mention Ali Nasir, because he was the point of contact, and Ali Nasir is the one who the thing said. So thank you, Jazz. Thank you, Amir Ibrahim. I would like to mention here that the banks. We went and signed up with the bank of which I was director for 16 years, Bank Al-Falah First, and a lot of people, of course, went to the various banks over the last, particularly 2 years, trying to get us to we had an agreement with them. They tried to make sure, frustrate that agreement so that agreement, but none of the banks, not one bank, broke that agreement. For the last 18 months, the bank stood by us. Thank you, all the banks. I would like to say that I've already talked about teamwork, cooperation, coordination, support. What cannot Pakistani talent do? Pakistani, can go anywhere. People do not realize what this financial inclusion means. Think about women empowerment. Think about drawing the woman into this scheme. The person who always has dealt with cash, very little. How many women have credit cards or debit cards? Now, for the first time, this thing. From various sources that we have gathered, we normally know that women have 18% of bank accounts, or the bank accounts. In this case, of the AMA scheme, at least women have 32%, which is a great rise from 18 to 32%. That means more and more women are coming into the scheme. I would like to, before this thing, etc., talk about, something came to my mind. The words roti, kapda or makan. 50 years ago, this was a terrific slogan. It had no meaning. Because roti or kapda, Pakistan has never been a famine country. This area throughout history, whether it was the Mehrgarh civilization, the Indus civilization, the British, whatever civilization, Mughal, this area has never been in famine. Yes, people have died of hunger, but not on the scale that they died in Bengal or in Bihar or etc. But makan, and it was an elitist hope. Now with the Roshan Apna Ghar program and with the AMA scheme, for the first time the poor has an opportunity to own a home. That is tremendous, that you have given them that dream of 50 years ago, roti, kapda or makan, is now becoming a reality 50 years later. And I think that is a very major thing which, the thing. I have two personal things which I just want to share with you. One is AMA. My 14-year-old granddaughter is called Amani. It's quite a coincidence. AMA and Amani. Amani means peace. And the other thing is that 50 years ago, to the day, about 3 o'clock in the morning, I went into an attack near Chor on a ridge called Sanoi Ridge. At 3 o'clock in the morning, we didn't expect to come back because we were less in numbers. Survived, I'm here with you. 50 years later, I got a battlefield promotion to the rank of major. My company was named Sehgal Company. 50 years later, I think it was worth living to see this day. Thank you again, State Bank of Pakistan.